Hello. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see me? This is super weird. Hello. I'm so confused. I'm having technical difficulties. What? I'm so confused. Okay. I'm having technical difficulties. This is super weird. Okay. Oh god. Okay, that's how that works. Hi everyone. Thank you for coming to my my LTG Q&A. Sorry I was a little bit late. Hopefully you will forgive me. But I will start answering questions now. Yay. I know the quality is super bad, but stick with me, okay? All right, so I had some questions submitted earlier. Gosh, I'm like super nervous for some reason. Okay, so first question, how do you balance your APs and Key Club? So I had some LTGs help me with these questions. One answer that I got was time management in all caps with 2 exclamation points. That is very, very good advice, I must say. But God, when people ask me this, a lot of times I just say, I don't balance my APs and Key Club, which it's a little bit true. But what I did when I got elected was I said, okay, I'm not going to have as much time, so I'm going to take less APs than I wanted to. So I wanted to take 4, but I ended up taking 3 because I was like, okay, this is not going to work. I know myself well enough to know that I cannot handle 4 APs and being lieutenant governor. And some people do balance 4 or 5 APs and being LTG, but it doesn't work for me. So does the LTG gotta pay dues or not? That was a question that I got. Yes, LTG just has to pay dues. So if my club is delinquent in paying dues, I can't go to winter board training, so gotta pay your dues. Good question though. Make sure your club pays dues. How many hours a week do you spend at Key Club related events? A lot. One answer I got from an LTG was 20 hours, maybe like 4 hours a day. Perks, meeting new people. Oh wait, that's another question. I put on my college apps 10 hours a week. I'm not sure if that's, I feel like that's an underestimate because I feel like I do spend, some weeks it depends which week. If it's like the week before fall rally, a lot. A lot of hours writing emails. Writing emails takes so much more time than you think it does. Trust me. People don't really read them a lot, so I'll get into that later, but writing emails takes a long time. You'll learn that. Are you supposed to go to every and all events? So there is a list of events that you have to go to. It's on your service agreement. I have it up here. I can read the events to you. But you have to be there, and you have to sign an agreement that you will be there to be lieutenant governor. Where is it? So there's a district convention, your first one where you're installed, which is the one in Sacramento, 7th through 10th this year. There's May board training and meeting, which is in SoCal. So of course, if you're from NorCal, you won't be able to, you have to drive down with your region. International convention is optional and recommended, July 6th through 10th this year. Definitely try to go to international convention. I have never been. I didn't go last year because I had a conflict. But definitely try to go, and people will, Kiwanians especially, will help you try to get there if it's too expensive. Board training and meeting again in August for summer board, and then there's one in January, which hasn't happened yet this year, but there's another one. And Key Club District Convention, which is the last one where you retire, and then your elect will take your place April 6th through 9th. So those are ones you have to go to. And then for me, I go to region meetings, which we have twice a month on Sundays. I go to a lot of school events. I don't have to go to every single event from my school, but I try to go as many as I can. God, what else do I go to? I go to Kiwanis DCMs. Those aren't required, but you definitely should be going to them. So every and all, I don't know how to put every and all. I'm not sure exactly what every and all means. So you don't have to go to every school's events, obviously, because you're going to have, if you're in Division 12 West, 12 different schools events to go to. How much sleep do you get? Do you stress because of Key Club? Yes, I definitely stress because of Key Club. Ask any lieutenant governor And they'll tell you, yes, they stress, especially before the big events like OTC, Officer Training Conference, Region Training Conference, Fall Rally North, tons and tons of stress the week before. Some other lieutenant governors and I pulled an all-nighter before Officer Training Conference this year. Fun fact. So yes, lots of stress. How much sleep do I get? Nowadays, I've been telling myself to go to sleep at 11. Yeah, but some days, very little sleep. It's stressful. What are some perks of being LTG? Definitely meeting new people. Yeah, I've met a lot of really awesome people. My region team, shout out to those guys. Hopefully they're watching right now. I love them so much. If you're region 17, most of you probably are, you'll get 5 BFFs. I love you. I also hate them a little bit, but that's whatever. Other perks, I got learning new skills like dealing with stress, definitely. Working as a team, so like with the region team, with your division leadership team, with presidents, with club officers. Another set of perks I got, lots of leadership experience, public speaking, because you have to lead every single division council meeting. You have to do workshops at officer training conference and region training conference. So I definitely agree with that one. And you get to expand your circle of friends. Yay. I also got, and a golden tie. You do get a gold tie. That's pretty cool. And you get to wear the district board attire, which is the black bottoms, black top, black blazer, and then the gold tie. So that makes you feel really fancy. That's cool. Being lieutenant governor is so rewarding because you get to see your hard work amount to something great. Definitely. So you can see your impact on the division. That's really cool. Some downsides of being an LTG. Takes a lot of time, definitely. For me personally, one thing I would emphasize is that it like really stresses my relationship with my parents because they want me to do homework and then go to bed. And I'm like, no, I have a key club thing to go to, or sorry, I have to like write an email. And you got to make sure you're on good terms with your parents and they know that you're making a huge time commitment. Another downside, stress. Another one, sometimes you work with people you don't get along with. Definitely. You might have a president that's rather difficult. You might have officers that are being difficult with their president, and then therefore you have to kind of resolve those conflicts, which can get stressful, I guess. Yeah, main downsides are stress, sleep, your parents yelling at you. What kind of people do you meet as an LTG? You meet other LTGs. I met the international, oh goodness. Everyone's laughing right now, I know. I met the international trustee, Hojin. He's super cool. I never would have met him otherwise if I hadn't been lieutenant governor because he came to summer board training conference. So that was really cool. You meet tons of other LTGs. There's 74 or something that you can meet at training conferences. You really bond with them at district convention. And they're all awesome, awesome people. I mean, they all had to be elected from their divisions, and I don't know, I think everyone's super nice and outgoing. It's crazy. Do you still have to take hard classes? How do you balance it all? It's like the previous question, I guess. I do. And I don't balance it probably the best that I could. But my advice would be, what I've started doing is actually really working out for me, is like I just go to coffee shops. Because like, I don't know, I can't work at home. And then I get work done. And then I come home and I do my Key Club work because I don't have to be as focused when I'm writing Key Club emails or whatnot. What are some requirements to run for lieutenant governor and maintain your position? So again, the service agreement is available on the Cyber Key. It's under the CTC. You go to events and then you go to candidate training conference. You click on that and then it has a link to the service agreement for 2015-2016. And then it has all the requirements. So one of them is Key Club member in good standing, which means dues paid. And then at least 50 hours of service. And you also have to hold at least 10 division council meetings. So you can miss 2 months of division council meetings. I don't think I've missed any. I did miss one at the very beginning of my term. The first month I didn't do one because that was the same month as decon, I believe. So I will have 12 division council meetings. So I will meet that requirement. Sorry, I'm just reading these. Oh, you have to go to leadership conference, which was officer training conference and region training conference. Visit every club in the division at least once. So visitation is either going to the club meeting or having a meeting with their officer board. So you don't have to meet them in person. You can do a Skype call. I like to do in-person visitations, but when you're just too busy or time doesn't allow or everyone else is too busy, then Skype visitations will have to do. You have to do committee work. So the lieutenant governors are put into committees. I'm on policy, international business, and elections. There's member relations, there's member recognition, communications and marketing. There's a bunch of committees you have to do work for in addition to your division work. So that's an extra add-on. A lot of people don't really like doing committee work because it's like another stressful thing they have to worry about, but it's just something you gotta do. And a lot of committees really enjoy their work, so. What else? Just kind of skimming over this. You also have to do monthly report forms. So if you've ever been a club secretary or you've ever been held club office, you'll know that monthly report form is something that the secretary has to fill out every single month with the hours of every club, and a bunch of other stuff, which I won't go into. But I have to do my own division monthly report form. So I take all those hours and all the stuff that the club tells me through their monthly report form, and I put it on my own, which I then send to the division secretary. So that's another requirement. You also have to send in agendas every month. So division council meeting agendas are due the 20th of every month before the division council meeting. What else? You have to submit your member, officer, Kiwani, and faculty advisor and club of the month to the division newsletter, which doesn't take that much time. If I think of any more, I'll get back to this, but those are the base recommendations. I also got one of the LTGs told me Icon was great. It was amazing. Okay, go to Icon. Sorry, it's going down. What are some things you wish someone had told you before you became LTG? All right, sometimes you have this huge vision filled with lots of great ideas, but they just don't work out because planning these events take a lot of time and commitment. Sometimes the people you work with won't always be so willing to work with you, and you have to make sure you're getting through to them. That was something one LTG said. Definitely, I had grand visions for Division 12 West that just didn't really plan out because I didn't know how much work it would take. And Tyra, my immediate past lieutenant governor, told me, it's gonna be so much work, like it's so stressful, you don't even know. And I was like, I got this. And now, of course, I know in my head I'm gonna be saying to my elect, oh my God, it's so much work, it's crazy. And you know, it's a vicious cycle. You're never gonna realize how much work it is, but you'll get through it. What are some things you do as LTG that many people may not or know about? One answer I got to this was writing emails, how much time they take, and how crappy it feels that people don't read their emails. So read our emails, please. It makes us feel so good. Or like, say, hey Sarah, that email you wrote like was really bomb. That would make me so happy. But yes, one of the LTGs told me that they would like me to talk about how much like recognition, like you just don't get recognition for what you do. Well, you do, but you don't get a lot of it, and it feels kind of thankless sometimes. I'm not saying like, tell me how great I am, but it's just one thing you have to keep in mind. It kind of sucks sometimes, especially one of the questions was, what makes Division 12 West different from other divisions? One thing that makes us different is that we're pretty darn small and we're pretty inactive compared to other divisions. So for example, at Region Training Conference, there was not a lot of people there from Division 12 West, and there was a lot from other divisions. And it just kind of sucked seeing that like there was not a lot of people from my division there. But the other LTG is really nice to me, and they helped me get through it. So that's cool. And it's just something that we're trying to grow. So it's okay that we're small now, but quality over quantity, right? Yeah. What are some specific jobs that an LTG has? Plan DCMs, of course, which it can be stressful. Region Training Conference, Candidate Training Conference, Conclave, and attend Kiwanis meetings and DCMs. You also have to fill out ERFs, event request forms, for division council meetings. If you are in Region 17, you have to work with clubs to fill out the event request forms. Monthly report forms, also I didn't say this, but monthly report forms take a really, really long time. And email updates also take a very long time. Yes. How do you balance Key Club in school? Is LTG a very demanding position? Yes, it is. Moving on. Do I smell like lettuce? I don't think I do. How do you balance being an LTG with school and other extracurricular activities? Yeah, same. Who is your favorite lieutenant governor on District 4? Definitely Hal Newman. What happens at Canada Training Conference? So Hal told me learn about lieutenant governor duties, basically, and learn about responsibilities. Don't talk about, oh, okay, just kidding. You get breakout groups, which are led by a lieutenant governor, a current one, and it gives you some private time to kind of talk to another LTG. I actually didn't go to Canada Training Conference because I had an SAT boot camp thing that was really expensive, and so I couldn't miss it. But I've been told that those things happen at Canada Training Conference. You should definitely try to go because I really regretted missing it. And apparently all the current LTGs, they all like met each other and saw each other at Canada Training Conference. That was like the first time they met, and I really wish I had been there for that experience. All right, what events must I attend? I went over that if elected. Also, will I have to miss school? If so, when will I have to miss school and how many days approximately? Good question, definitely. You will have to miss school for a lot of events. Decon, you will miss Thursday and Friday of school, unless you have a break the week before. So this year, Westmont has a break the week before. So if you go to Westmont, you won't, if you're in Campbell Union High School District, you won't have to miss any days of school for decon. But for a lot of events you will, and mostly Fridays except for decon. So for springboard and winterboard, I think for winterboard, but definitely springboard you'll have to miss school. Region, no. I don't know any other days where I missed school, but I know I definitely did. So I think if I had to estimate, I'd say 4 for the 2 decons, and then another extra couple. All right, next question. Sorry, the good question though. Make sure you're very clear with your parents and with your school, because you'll have to have a meeting with your president. Sorry, not your president of your school. Your principal of your school. So you will have to have a meeting with them. Be very clear with parents and school. You will be missing a significant amount of school. How much influence do you have with the division's clubs? Less than you want. There will be days when you just wish that you're president of every single club, but it's impossible. So you can encourage clubs to do things, but you can't force them to do anything. So some presidents, you might just have to say, okay, I realize that you're just really not into this Key Club thing. I'm going to keep you afloat until maybe next year you'll get a president that's more enthusiastic, because a lot of the club success depends on the president. And you get some presidents that with a little bit of encouragement, they do really awesome. But you'll get some that just don't really care that much, and so you have to just admit that it's not entirely your fault. How do I feel? I don't want to scream in my house, guys. I'm going to skip that one for now. What do you think about Jocelyn? I heard she's pretty cute. She's okay. Can I have some kimchi? No. How does being an LTG benefit me? I would say this. Do it for your division, not for yourself. I think that's what I'm supposed to tell you. But the ways it does benefit you, first off, you get a lot more Instagram followers and Facebook friends. So if you're into that thing, then there's that. Yeah. You also get to meet a lot of people. Like I said, I met a ton of lieutenant governors that I really love. I'll be friends with for the rest of my life. Looks good on college apps, not gonna lie. You get a ton of service hours because the service, you do service. You will do a lot of service with your club and things like that, but you can, sorry, I'm not saying this right. You can give, this sounds so wrong, but the service you do when like preparing for division council meetings or going, let me think of other examples, like just doing work for your division. Like I gave myself, sorry, I don't want to say give myself, but I reported my hours for making lays for member recognition as like an hour making lays. So we do get service hours for doing division work, and they are all approved by the district. The district looks over them and makes sure that they're okay, that we're not being corrupt and giving ourselves, I don't want to say giving ourselves, but we're not giving ourselves hours we don't deserve. Because being lieutenant governor is a lot of work, and you want recognition for that, even if it's through a monthly report form. How does becoming an LTG benefit myself and others? If you're a good LTG, it will make your division so much better, and yeah. Sorry, I don't think I answered that question very well. How do you manage time? Another question. I have this calendar. It's actually really bad at filling out. This probably isn't the greatest example, but God, I don't know how much you can see that, but this is my calendar. Use one religiously. If you have Lieutenant Governor Anna Pham, if you know her, her calendar on her computer is insane, and it is goals. I'm actually kind of jealous of her calendar. I know, nerding out over calendars. God, where was I? I scrolled down. Hardest part of being Lieutenant Governor. If you're in Region 17, filling out event request forms can get very stressful because you're not the person actually filling them out. It's the club that is hosting the event. So having that little control over it, but it's still being a very important thing, event request forms can get very stressful. I also got another answer, working with difficult people. Yeah, being proactive in planning, definitely. When you're submitting an event request form a week before the event, and then something's not right with it, it can get super, super stressful. Not losing momentum through the year, oh my goodness, this is so true. At the beginning of my term, I was like, my division is gonna gain 178 members, and I'm gonna have 3 visitations with every club. And I realized that it's just not super realistic. But I also get tired after a while, man. Mostly division council meetings every single month is just, it tires you out. Easiest part of being lieutenant governor, you get to meet new people. That's just, it makes it kind of all worth it. Oh, another thing that's hard about being lieutenant governor is having to talk to people you don't know. I have like a little bit of like social anxiety, and so when I have to talk to like Kiwanians, I get super nervous and sweaty, and then I have like the sweaty handshake. It stresses me out because I'm like, oh, what if they don't like me? Yeah, that's a hard part about being LTG. So if you're like stressed about meeting new people, you'll get better at it. I think I've gotten better at it. I mean, hopefully I've gotten better at it, but that stressed me out a lot at first. Is there freedom and time to have a social life? You have to prioritize, definitely. I like to think of my hierarchy as family, school, what else? Key Club, and then when I was playing tennis a couple weeks ago, months ago, like a month ago, tennis, and then like social life after that. So it really depends on your priorities. If you are really gung-ho, like, yeah, LTG, you might not have a lot of time for a social life, let's be real. But there's an analogy, there's like you have a jar, you have your big rocks, your priorities, and you have your pebbles, which you try to fit in after your big rocks or priorities. And there's like your little things, and then there's the sand, which is like checking Instagram. So I like to think about that when I'm like, oh, should this really be a priority right now? But I think I have a social life, kind of. There are a lot of instances where I'm like, oh no, sorry, I can't go to the football game. I have a division council meeting. Or like, no, sorry, can't go out today. MRF is due at 6 p.m. Yeah. Next question. How do you even prep for a fall rally? Oh my gosh. Fall rally I know is super stressful. You have to design. Well, I designed most of the spirit gear. That's a complete lie. I designed the like cinch packs for my division. That was stressful. You have to order all the spirit gear. You have to make sure everyone gets it. You have to collect all the money. You have to hand over the money. And you have to hand out the spirit gear. It's way more stressful than it sounds. Shirt design competitions, even like the very first step, getting people to design shirts. packaging, spreading the word about things. You'll find that you will post things several hundred times. It feels like you sent out 2 emails and you posted on Facebook 30 times, and then someone messaged you like, so where's the DCM? When is the DCM? You're like, oh, I'm glad that you're reaching out to me. I am, but I posted it several times, and it will make you very angry, but you'll get over it eventually. It's just a thing that happens. And got advice, work with your region team. They help a lot. That's very true. They answer a lot of my dumb questions. The other day I was like, where do you send dues? And they told me, so thank you. And I was just too lazy to look at anything else. Oh, I got another piece of advice. Sometimes friends think you're too busy for them, which sucks. Yeah. Hopefully my friends don't think I'm too busy for them. I still like my friends. But Fall Rally prep is very stressful. To go back to the last question, I was up to like 2 in the morning making a spirit stick the night of Fall Rally. Yeah. What if your division is scary and biased and it makes you have less courage to run? So I'll do their advice first. Still do it because you can change the atmosphere of your division. And we've got another one. Yes, don't worry. Make an effort in your speech to really bring out your passion and commitment and ability to lead the division to even greater heights. There was one division a couple years ago that there was a front runner. There was someone who everyone thought was going to win, and he or she did not win. Like another outsider, not really outsider, but kind of an underdog won, and everyone was like really surprised. But that person still did an awesome job. So I would say that just go for it. That's terrible. I'm like, YOLO. That's not my advice at all. But if you don't run for a lieutenant governor, then that's just like a whole world of regret, because you're going to be sitting in a division council meeting looking at the new lieutenant governor and thinking like, wow, I could have done such a better job. Or like, that could be me up there. Which is totally what you're thinking. You're not thinking that they could have done a better job. But I would say just go for it, because people won't judge you for running and not winning. It's just not a thing. That's not the atmosphere of Key Club, running for lieutenant governor. And if you're feeling afraid to run, it's a really great experience. So go for it. Because if you run and you don't win, then at least you don't have time for regrets. So how do you break cliques? Since my division has a lot. I don't think this is about Division 12 West. I hope not, because I don't think that our division has a lot of cliques, but talk about this a little bit. As the lieutenant governor is hopefully trying his or her best to break up the cliques, because it's not the atmosphere the lieutenant governor is trying to create. So maybe go up and talk to your lieutenant governor, go up and talk to different people. I'm sorry, I do not have very good advice for this one. How often do you meet with region and district board members? Region lieutenant governors, I meet with them twice a month for region meetings, which if you're in region 17 will happen. There is committee phone calls every month. There are district board meetings are 3 times a year, and then there is district board meetings at decon. So you go to 2 district board meetings at decon. And then you also meet with them way more frequently when you're planning large conferences. So like for Region Training Conference, Region 17 and Region 9 met together a lot. We met together twice a week for, I think like 2 months. I might be wrong. But yeah, that was before Region Training Conference. And we talk a lot in Facebook chat too. So I probably talk to them every day on Facebook. How do I feel? No, thank you. How has being lieutenant governor changed me? I'm definitely way better at public speaking. At least I hope I've gotten way better. But I've become way better at prioritizing my time, managing my time, definitely. I'm a more open person, and I definitely understand people more. So like when I was an elect, or not when I was elect, I was a brand new lieutenant governor, and someone would do things like ask me a question when I'd answered it many times in Google Reflector, or gosh, I don't know, just like made me a little sad in any way. I'd be like super upset, and I'd be like, oh, why aren't they getting this? Like, why do they have to keep asking me questions? Am I not doing a good job? And now I understand that just like that's just a thing that people do. Like, I understand that people are gonna be people, and sometimes they're not gonna do things I ask, and I have to remind them about things a lot, but that's just the way things are, and it's okay. It's nothing against me. Discuss the rules of the DLT. It varies. I treat my DLT much differently than other divisions, and lieutenant governors have their own kind of division leadership team style. Being on my division leadership team, I've made it more of like a learning process. Like, I want to teach my DLT about being lieutenant governor and about the division. And sorry, but I know that a lot of other DLTs are very intensive, and they do a lot of things. But for example, I have my executive assistants just do like random tasks. I'm having them plan a ice skating bonding. Hopefully that will happen. And I have another request to go back to the click question, because another lieutenant governor is helping me. Lieutenant governors do not try to have cliques, and I'm sorry if it came out that way, but he or she is trying her best at division council meetings and training conference to get to know everyone. Sometimes it's hard because division council meetings are very overwhelming and there's a lot of things going on, but we promise that if you approach us, we will gladly talk to you. That's very true. If you come up to me and talk to me at a division council meeting, I might be like running around and stressed, but I will definitely say hi. And oh, here's something. You will be introduced to so many people, and they will know your name and you will not know their name. And it's super awkward, and you just like really, really want to, you really want to know their names, but you don't. Like, you remember their faces, you remember who they are, you just don't know their name. And it's super awkward, and I apologize if I've done that to you. I'm really bad at things too, so that makes it worse. Why is the Super Trooper a blob? I think it's a really pretty blob. Shout out to Isabel Trim. Do you still get nervous when giving speeches? Yes, I definitely do. I'm really nervous right now. You can notice I'm touching my hair a lot. That's like my nervous tick. I'm trying to stop. I'm sorry. Yeah, I do. I get nervous at division council meetings. I get nervous at region training conference and officer training conference. I was super nervous. I did the public speaking workshop 10 times at region training conference. I did 8 times at officer training conference, and every single time I was still super nervous. But yes, you can work on it, and you'll definitely get better at it as lieutenant governor, because that's a huge part of it. How are your grades now as compared to when you got elected as lieutenant governor? I will be completely honest. They did get worse when I was elected. Not when I was elected, but when I was installed. I would say they did get much worse. But that was on me, because I wasn't prepared to handle it. I think that if you just manage your time better than I did, then you'll be fine. Because it is a lot of work that you take on all at once, and you'll be super excited because you want to do a lot, because you're a brand new lieutenant governor, but it just doesn't really pan out a lot of times. Where are you applying to college? Will being a lieutenant governor help? I'm not going to say where I'm applying to college, because I've been thinking about that all day, and I'm done. Will being LTG help? I hope so. I think it will, though, because it's a leadership position, and I think colleges like that. Do you need a copy of your grades to show your region advisor in order to run? Yes, you do. You'll have a meeting with your region advisor when you decide to run, because they have to sign your agreement to serve form. So they will need to see your grades, and they'll have a whole talk with you about if your family supports you, if your school supports you, what will happen if your grades dip and your family or school isn't comfortable with you being LTG anymore. That'll be a whole discussion. What if your LTG hates you? If you're someone in my division, I don't hate you, I promise. I'm being genuine. Like, I don't hate anyone in the division, but say LTG does hate you. None of that bias can come out in the election process. You'll be safe from that, honestly. It might be awkward if they hate you and you're their elect because they will have to train you, but don't worry about that too much. They're probably just lame. They hate you anyway. How many LTGs have I hit on? None? I don't know. What if your lieutenant governor is really biased and already has a baby? I don't think any lieutenant governors that I know have like a baby in mind. A baby meaning like an elect. Yeah. I'm not sure which division this person is from, but I've talked to all lieutenant governors and they're all unsure who their baby is going to be. Because none of us really know. We know that elections are very off and on, and some people give great speeches, some people are really great in caucus. And I know that when I think about who my elect will be, I'm kind of thinking like, my mindset is, okay, I know that these people might be great, but there might be an underdog that might come in that might be really great. And I know that the election process will kind of select the best lieutenant governor for us. There's a reason why lieutenant governors don't pick their elects, because they know that they're not the only opinion. And I know we're all really excited to see who the candidates will be running and who will be the next lieutenant governor. And I think that you're just psyching yourself out, because lieutenant governors will be excited whoever is their baby, because it's just an exciting prospect. Shout out to Division 28 West. Okay. What should one expect in becoming an LTG? Kind of what we've been saying. It's very stressful. Yeah, you won't realize how much stress it is until you become lieutenant governor. Can you run for a district leadership team position without being lieutenant governor? Yes, you can. If you are in my division and you're asking this question and you want to run for district secretary, district treasurer, district governor, talk to me and I'll let you know how to do it. But I'm just thinking you mean district leadership team. So district executive you can run. People have ran before. I think your chances definitely do go up after being lieutenant governor, because people will more likely to vote for you after you are lieutenant governor, and people, if you're thinking about applying for a chair position, then I think I don't want to say for sure, but I feel like it does, because you just have experience being on district board. But don't be scared to, because you're not. There's definitely instances where people have become district leadership or chairs or coordinators without being lieutenant governor. How has becoming LTG changed you? What extracurriculars and positions did/do you hold? Sorry, it just changed. Where was I? So actually, House says that he is senior class president. So that's one thing that he does. I played tennis, and I was the tennis captain. So that was extra work that I had to do. I'm in life crew. That was just mainly at school, though. Trying to think. I feel like there's something that I'm missing, but I definitely pared down. I was in leadership, and I was the club coordinator, and I stopped doing that when I became lieutenant governor, just because I didn't really like it all that much, because I was just in it for college, and because I was lieutenant governor now, and so there was just like, this is extra stress that I don't need and I don't want. So I just did stop doing that. And I think that helped me a lot. It would just be extra stress that I don't need. And I'm glad I did it. I don't have any regrets. What do you believe makes you different from other LTGs? Believe it or not, geography makes a huge difference. There are some divisions with schools that are very competitive, where kids don't want to go to division council meetings or training conferences because they're just busy going to SAT class or doing homework. Lieutenant Governor House from Division 43 has a huge division. His division, I think it's twice the size of the rest of Division 17 combined. So he has a ton of travel to get to his schools, whereas for me, it takes 20 minutes to get from one end to the other end, like 30 if you're in bad traffic. There's lieutenant governors with divisions with 3 islands in Hawaii. So that definitely separates the divisions. Me, I feel like I'm more laid back LTG. There's other lieutenant governors that are very, I don't want to say anal. That sounds bad, but they're more high strung, I guess. I'm just more laid back, which might be a bad thing. I'm not sure, but that's, I think, what separates me. What were my initial goals as lieutenant governor? My initial goal was to, sorry, what am I saying? Where Division 12S is small, but my initial goal was to increase membership by a lot. And since then, my goal has changed because I realized that it's just probably not going to happen this year. I did want to charter a club, and that happened. So welcome to the family basis independent Silicon Valley. That was really awesome. I did want to, of course, increase service hours and increase fundraising, which hopefully will happen this year. It's a little bit iffy. We'll probably increase fundraising, but maybe not service. I did, however, definitely increase attendance to events like Region Training Conference, Officer Training Conference. Fall Valley North had a ton more people, which made me super happy. And so now I'm trying to focus on getting people to these division events because stronger clubs will hopefully get more members. And so I'm going to pass that goal on to my elect, the goal of getting more members. How do you handle criticism? Oh, sorry, Lieutenant Governor. Another Lieutenant Governor says that his or her goal was to make the clubs come together as a real division. So, for example, if you're in a really small division that doesn't have a lot of members, that might be your goal, is just for people to recognize that there is a division, that there's events to go to beyond the club level. So how do I handle criticism? If it's constructive criticism, then you should take it, but don't take it up, but wait. But if it's non-constructive criticism, just completely ignore it because there's tons of people out there that will help you. So for example, if I have an email that I'm kind of iffy about, or if I have a submission that I don't really know if it's gonna live up to the standards, I'll send it to my region team and they'll tell me, and they always have helpful criticism. Sometimes Hal says, "You suck," and then I'm like, "Oh, Hal, that's so mean." But I know that he's not being serious, so it's okay, Hal. But there's some questions on here that are kind of mean, and so I'm ignoring those because that's cool. What made you decide to run for LTG? Oh, that's a hard question. I always really liked Key Club. I was kind of like the Key Club girl at Westmont, and I loved Westmont. And so I started going to division events, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, we're kind of small, but there's not a lot of people here, but like maybe I can make this better, or maybe. And I met Tyra, and so that was a big part of deciding to run for LTG because I really like Tyra, and she's a cool girl. God, I don't know, a bunch of factors. It just seemed really cool, honestly. And Tyra told me it was fun, but it was a lot of work, and it's the biggest leadership position I've ever held, and I really like telling people what to do. So there's another thing. I'm not gonna lie, college apps did have a little bit of an effect for me. Like, okay, it's a leadership position. Colleges will see that. I mean, it's been so much more than college apps, and if it was like looked worse on college applications, I would still run because it's been an amazing experience. And I'm like not even 3/4 way through my term, but it's been amazing. What happens if an LTG decides to withdraw from their position during the term or before it ends? So hopefully you're not considering that as an option. I know when I ran, I was like, I'm in it for the whole year. I cannot stop. It has happened, I don't know how many times this year, but it's happened a couple times this year. But they try to find a new lieutenant governor from your division. And then sometimes, as happened in Division 43, they didn't have a lieutenant governor, and so the lieutenant governor for Division 12 South took over. But she lived super far away, and so it was really hard for her to be an LTG. And basically what she did is she turned in their MRFs a couple times, and you're just an LTG in name only. And the division really does suffer when that happens. It's not good news. So hopefully this is not an option for you, unless something really bad happens in your family, or your grades just tank, but don't let your grades tank. Will my region advisor have to meet with my parents or legal guardian? Yes, after you become an elect. If your Region 17 had a lunch meeting with the parents, that was super awkward, but it happened, and it's over now, so that's cool. Is the current LTG allowed to step in when he or she knows that a candidate who got the majority vote is not a good candidate? No, the person who won. And that's just how it rolls. If everyone knows that the person who won will not be a good LTG, it's the final say. Actually, I think this did happen once in a division where someone won, and then their club, I think, complained because their club wasn't at conclave, but the LTG won, and the club was like, wait, she's a horrible president, and so I think that changed lieutenant governor. I think that's super rare though. But the current LTG is not allowed to step in. I got a question that says, attend CTC in Burbank as well for regions 10 and 17. Sorry, 10 and 7. Go to CTC. People are so mean in my division. I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not from 12 West. If you feel mean, if I feel like people are mean in your division, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how that affects this conversation of being lieutenant governor. But if you feel like people are mean, then maybe you can run and change the atmosphere in your division, do icebreakers, and get people to bond. What happens when LTG? Oh, it's the same question as before. What if you get elected and you're like, WTF, how? LOL. If you were elected, then hopefully you belong there. That's all I'm saying. If people voted for you, then I think you should put that in your mind and say, okay, like, people voted for me, I'm supposed to be here. How much time daily do you spend doing LTG things? Daily, I'd probably put a number like anywhere from 0 hours. Every once in a while, I'll take a day off and be like, I'm done with Key Club. This is not happening anymore. So I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to watch Netflix. And I'm going to do nothing. I have those days. But tops, gosh, I could spend like 4 hours on a day. There's some weeks where I spend like 2 to 4 hours a day doing Key Club stuff. That's pretty rare, but yeah. Who's behind the Twitter and Instagram for Division 12 West? DLT. I'm too lazy to do it, so. How many questions will I ever know? I don't know. Why are you so laid back with your division, whereas other LTGs are more strict? It's just my personality. I think I'm just a more laid back person, so I'm a more laid back LTG. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is a very good question. I was hoping I would get this. With all the AP classes, oh, just a comment, I'm going to be ending at 9, so in 9 minutes. With all the AP classes one takes, as well as being the LTG of your division, does money become an issue at any point? Yes. I'm pretty fortunate in my situation, but a lot of LTGs do struggle with things like going to Icon and just paying, because okay, so your division gets a budget of $50 per club. So Division 12 West is 12 clubs and $50. That's $600 that I get to spend on division stuff. So what I do is I buy it, and then you scan the receipt and send it in with a the voucher form, and then Key Club sends you the money back. So that's part of what your dues goes toward. It's toward your division budget, and then your lieutenant governor spends it and then reclaims the money, because the idea is that it shouldn't cost you money to volunteer in this position. But it's just, money just slips out. Like, you go to the dollar store and you'll spend $4 on frames for recognition, and then you just be like, I'm really too lazy to scan this receipt in for $4, and it does add up. So I recommend scanning every single one of those receipts. As far as going to events like Icon, your Kiwanis will help you a lot if you ask for money. Don't be afraid to talk to Kiwanis. Even though they're grown-ups, they're not super scary. They're very nice people. They're adults volunteering within organization, so they really can't be that bad. But yes, money does become an issue, and your parents might yell at you. So I'm going to say, if your parents are very strict about spending money, then have a very frank discussion with them, and then be very careful with your receipts and get your vouchers in like that, so you'll get your money back. What if you know who you're competing against and want to give up? Just go for it. If you're not the right person to be lieutenant governor, then you're not going to become lieutenant governor. Yes. that's going to be my advice. I was very scared of running against another person, and that was the main reason why I wasn't going to run for a long time. I was very on the fence because I just didn't want to run against someone. I was very scared of losing too, but I mean, I don't know how it feels to lose as lieutenant governor, but I don't want to say lose, but like not become lieutenant governor. But I'm going to say that I think that it's probably not that bad because we're very accepting people. And people that do run for lieutenant governor and don't get the position, then they're still awesome Key Clubbers. I know a lot of people that have run, but they're just amazing, active members, and we love those members because they just make life so much easier. So don't give up. How do you change your division animal? Oh, your division mascot. I did this. Your lieutenant governor will, you can hold a vote, and you just have to change it on your monthly report form. That's what I did. What do you do if only one person is running for LTG? Run yourself? I'm not sure. What is your dream college? Please, I really want to know because I really want to be an LTG, so I want to know what school a normal LTG aims for. Gee, I don't know. Ideally, I would go to Harvard. That's my dream college. I'm not even applying there. But every LTG is different. Some people take more AP classes, some people take less, some people, it varies very widely. It's probably just the normal range, honestly. A lot of us will go to CSUs and community college, and a lot of us will go to Harvard. So, all right, so I'm actually out of questions. I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question. It was either a repeat, probably, or it was an inappropriate question. So now, if you're in Division 12 West, I'm going to share a form for you to enter for the free Division 12 West t-shirt. Let me get back to the YouTube page I left. Hang on. I hope you guys enjoyed this, or it was useful. Okay, awkward silence while I find it. And then I'll read the live chat, which I'm scared to do. Oh no, go back. Okay, hang on. Please don't fill out this form if you're not in Division 12 West. I'm not gonna enter you, so that would suck. Oh gosh, it looks super weird on the screen. Say something. Okay, so the form is there. If you're in Division 12 West, go ahead and enter. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for attending. I hope you learned something. Yay, and I'll see you at Candidate Training Conference. Actually, I might not be there because I'm taking December SAT. But go to Candidate Training Conference, and the other Region 17, a couple from 9, will see you there.